You already know the best AI requires the best data and the best technology. Well, Oracle Fusion Applications combines all three so your business gets the best results. With the most contextually relevant and current data across your entire business, from finance to HR, supply chain to sales, service, and more, and running on OCI's cutting-edge AI superclusters, Fusion Applications seamlessly embeds AI services, including generative AI, in existing workflows, enabling new ways of working and doing business, delivering unprecedented productivity, and providing end-to-end business process automation. And the best part? It's already working for you right now. Quicker product launches, faster time to resolution for customer service requests, touchless automation in finance, and optimized job descriptions to improve the hiring process. Oracle Fusion Applications, built for your business in the age of AI. Please welcome to the stage, Steve Miranda.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday of CloudWorld. I'm really excited to be here today. Today is, I get to do probably the two favorite things in my job. One, I, along with you, get to listen to great customer stories. So we're going to have 3 customers tell their stories about their success, and hopefully that will both inspire and educate you on how you can also have mutual success. Secondly, I get to show off the tremendous work that our team has put together over the last year to give you an idea of what's coming. We'll have 3 demos that we'll show during the presentation, really as a representation of some of the work that we've done that we think you're going to be excited about and you're going to be able to take advantage of during the year. So we've got 3 customers, 3 demos, and then a couple product announcements sprinkled in. So kind of a packed hour. We'll go through it quickly. Now, as I said, all I have a chance to do is do a representation of what we do on your behalf. So to kind of break it down, let me tell you what our philosophies are, our kind of driving principles. And we really aim to give you everything you need to be successful in your business. And I'll explain what we mean by that and how that's important to you. We bring to you innovation that matters. So I know at this conference, we're a tech company, we're an apps company, and particularly at this conference, you hear a lot about technology and AI, but what we really aim to do is bring you functionality that helps you succeed in your business. So it's not about the technology, it's about how we use the technology on your behalf, taking your input to that technology to make your jobs easier, to make you more productive, and to make your companies more successful. And finally, our approach, and Safa really nailed this yesterday, the really cultural shift that Oracle's made over time to be a customer-focused, focused on your success. And I explain a little bit of how we go about that and how we want your help and your partnership in helping us drive our products, our services to your mutual success. So let me first start off by everything you need. And we talk about this in terms of what I call horizontal and vertical. So we have a complete suite of application capability, but also we're the only application company that's also in the technology business. And I'll explain what I mean by that, and more importantly, why that's important to you. So by complete suite, we offer the complete suite of applications from customer experience, supply chain management, financials and EPM, HCM, also industry-specific apps, and we have tight integration with third-party applications. Sometimes those applications are additive, sometimes they're actually competitors to ours in certain spaces, but we have those tight integration, all aimed at bringing you a single platform to solve business problems. All of that is built on a unified technology stack, which Clay McGurk is going to cover later on this afternoon. Now, why is this so critical to you that we have an application stack that's built on a technology? Why it's so critical is as advancements in technology happens, you as a Fusion SaaS customer inherit that mostly automatically. For example, over the last year, 100% of our customers have moved from our Gen 1 to our Gen 2 data centers. You've noticed dramatic reductions in update times, where the quarterly updates are running much faster, orders of magnitude faster than they were before. You've seen dramatic improvements in speed, performance, reliability. Behind the scenes, you've had dramatic improvements in security of your systems and monitoring of your systems. A lot of what used to be known as technical debt, really you don't have to worry about anymore, and we have a world-class technology business taking care of that, which we inherit from our SaaS business. And obviously this week, there's been a lot of talk, and there will continue to be a lot of talk about AI. And our distinct advantage is we are the world's leader, OCI, in terms of hosting the world's biggest and best AI engines or large language models. You saw on Larry's slide yesterday, every major large language model runs on OCI. Again, what does that mean to you as an application customer? What it means to you, I'm going to show you a lot of demonstrations. There's lots of points where we use AI, and know that you are getting best-in-class AI capability that powers that application functionality. But more importantly, know that while you have that today, you also are ensured of that going forward. Because as you know, these AI engines, there's a battle going on, there's a race going on as far as who's the best AI engine. I have no idea who that's going to be in a year. I have no idea who's going to be in 5 years or 10 years. What I'm extremely confident about is that whoever leads that AI race will be part of our technology stack and will be then inherited by you, our application customers. So you have assurance you are technical proof going forward. Okay, so enough about talk. Let me try to show you what it means in a demonstration. Again, as a sample demonstration of what this means bringing together completeness of suite along with completeness of technology. And the first example I'm going to show you is a Salesforce automation application. And you start off an email, and so it looks like a normal email application, except you have Fusion Sales embedded into it. Also, you're being asked to reply to an email. So in the old days, you have to read the email, contextualize it, reply to it. Now, obviously, a lot of people use ChatGPT, and here we have embedded AI. We're able to generate the response for you in email, edit that response, reduce the response, send the response out. However, in addition, this is not just Outlook. This is a Salesforce automation product, Fusion Sales, embedded in Outlook. So after I'm the sales rep and I've sent my email, I can see the customer and find out more information. But it doesn't stop there. I can seamlessly drill into the sales application from Outlook and get a much more comprehensive view. Now again, at first glance, this looks like a Salesforce automation system. You see things like the opportunities, the orders, but as you scroll more, you realize it's an end-to-end application, or it's a 360-degree view of the customer, including which products they own, which orders they've had, their invoices, backlog. So it's a combination of not just what is CX applications or CRM applications or sales applications, but it is sales and ERP applications. Now, why is that important? It's important because you need to generate quotes to those customers. And again, we've used AI to be able to combine the information you have from the order, from past history, from information you have both in your CX system, to have AI automatically generate a quote and send that quote out back through that same Outlook integration. So when I talked at the beginning about end-to-end, this is two examples. One, complete end-to-end capability from CX on through supply chain. Two, best-in-class technology. But it's also, when you talk about customer experience, it's where you need it. So notice, we didn't leave the confines of your email. We didn't leave your Salesforce application, your sales automation application. We didn't leave anything. You did it directly there. So this is not an AI engine external. This is embedded and contextual into the application you're already using. Then, of course, once you've sent off that proposal and that quote, the order comes through, and again, that same salesperson has access not only to the CX system, but to the ERP system. Because frankly, you as a business, there really should be no such thing as CX, supply chain, ERP. You have a customer, and you have a sale, and you have an order. And we navigate through that seamlessly, and we embed the technology, best-in-class technology, seamlessly. So by everything you need, that's one illustrative example of everything you need to automate a business process, not just technology, but applying technology to make you more successful. And a big thank you goes, today I'll talk a lot about new things, like the new Salesforce automation product, the new AI, embedded AI, but For anybody new to Oracle or new to cloud-based applications, realize we already have a rich and robust set. So I'm going to be talking about new things today, but these are a sampling of the largest, most successful companies in the world, all running Fusion applications, all very successful in their businesses. Okay, but enough about me talking. I said 3 customers. I'm pleased to welcome our first customer from right here in Las Vegas, Caesars.
The name says it all. Caesars Entertainment. It's the largest business of its kind in the United States, with coast-to-coast locations offering gaming, entertainment, and hospitality galore. It also delivers a full suite of mobile and online gaming experiences, including sports betting. Caesars prides itself in retaining loyal customers by providing world-class services, all powered by digital technologies. From reservations and payments to the latest gaming systems, Caesars stays a step ahead. Please welcome to the stage Stephanie Lepre.
Thanks for joining us, Stephanie. I have to say, after that video, I know it's 9 a.m. or 9:30 something, but I kind of want some sushi, so we'll have to figure that out later. I think, obviously, being here in Vegas, a lot of people, in fact, you may be hosting many of the folks in the audience here today, but maybe they don't realize sort of the breadth of Caesars, of Total Caesars. Could you give the audience a description of all of Caesars and your role?
Absolutely. Thanks, Ian. First of all, thanks for having us here. It's really an honor to be with all of you today, and hopefully you're enjoying Las Vegas and all we have to offer, not just at Caesars, but on the Strip. And it's a great city, and we're thrilled to host, so thank you. As you saw in the video, Caesars Entertainment is the largest gaming company in the U.S. We have over 50 properties located in more than 30 jurisdictions across the U.S. and a little bit of international. That encompasses our online and sports betting, as well as everything that you saw: hotel, retail, entertainment. We have everything under one roof, and we offer everything for everybody. We have 55,000 team members as well, so we're a significant employer, not just in Las Vegas, but throughout the U.S. as well. So yeah, we're excited to be here and really proud of where we've come and where we are today.
Now, in your role, you talked about the 55,000 team members and then the breadth and the size. Now, you oversee both finance and the HR function. Is that correct?
I do. I get the privilege of overseeing both HR and finance. So in my HR role, talent acquisition, talent development, internal comms, compensation, benefits, HR operations, the full gamut of everything that comes with the joy of HR and what that means in the people side of the business. And then on the accounting side, we have a very robust shared service environment at Caesars. So payroll, our close and consolidation team, our external reporting, budgeting, and also just the accounting process with closing the books and all that also reports up to me.
Now, you guys have had a very busy few years, very eventful few years. Could you talk about the business environment, some of the business challenges, some of the business changes that have gone on at Caesars over the last several years?
Yeah, so we being Eldorado Resorts bought Caesars Entertainment in July of 2020, which that all triggers a date for all of us. I think that was during the pandemic. So while we couldn't even find the keys to the front door of Caesars because the doors had never been shut since it opened in the 60s, because we're a 24/7, 365 business. We don't ever shut down, which also adds complexity and nuances. But we were able to achieve doing the merger it was a $12 billion acquisition, one of the largest in our industry during the pandemic. So closed on that. Fast forward, we then bought William Hill, which was an online and sports betting company, and expanded our footprint into the digital and online space, which I think is a great way to diversify our revenues and stay competitive and relevant. complementary to our big bricks and mortar. And then we have also been opening new properties. So brand new facility and beautiful $600 million property in Virginia that will open in December, and we opened one in Nebraska. So we don't sit idle, for sure. So a lot of success as we look back on what we've been able to accomplish.
Okay, so only major acquisition during a pandemic has to figure out, obviously your industry dramatically affected in both directions before,
right,
during, and after. So it's great. Now, in light of all that, can you tell us, you run Fusion Financials, Fusion HCM, Fusion EPM. Can you tell us sort of the thought process of why you went about choosing a full suite, why you went about choosing Oracle?
Right. Well, when we bought Caesars, they had been an early adopter on the ERP side, but the HCM side was not fully utilized. But we quickly saw the benefit of having a single platform, lots of synergies, lots of efficiencies, consistency, visibility across the enterprise. When we bought Caesars, and a credit to the team, we were able to apply the close and consolidation tool. And not only did we close in the pandemic when everyone was spread across the country and different GL accounts and chart of accounts and all those things that give accounting folks nightmares. We were able to close the books and report on time for the SEC reporting. So that was a huge accomplishment. And I think it really illustrated the benefit of having one platform that you can really leverage across all of the different areas that hit your financial statements. And then with the HCM side, we also we had to revisit how it was set up and spend some time on that, but recently deployed payroll in January. And so we took it to whole nother level and really took advantage of all the opportunities within the applications as well.
So let's drill down a little bit more, because you talked about some of the reasons and some of the benefits on the financial side. Also on the HR side, but I know that another challenge your industry has been going through is talent acquisition. Can you talk about sort of the context for people, how that's been going, and then how using the HCM platform is helped in that regard?
Yeah, so again, 55,000 team members, a very diverse workforce. When you think about it demographically, geographically, we've got 130 collective bargaining units. We've got tip team members. We have every shift you can think of. So a very complex workforce. So how do you pay them timely and correctly? How do you hire and onboard? How do you engage with them is something that's really important to us. I think everyone in the room is still dealing with a little bit of hangover from the pandemic, and now recruiting is easier, but retention is becoming something we talk a lot about. And so utilizing all of the capabilities of the HCM tool have been really important for us on how do we speak to our team members the way they want to be spoken to. We saw Bill talk yesterday about MGM, and we know our customers like Coke or Pepsi and where they like to stay and what shows they like, but I think we can, without being too big brother, do the same with our team members and really be relevant for what makes sense to them and means important to them.
Right. So maybe this will go there, and I don't think I'm allowed to let you off stage unless I ask you the question about AI. So how are you thinking about AI, either in Caesars Entertainment broadly or within your role and function, and how do you see Oracle playing a role in that?
Just like you, we are all talking about AI at the board level, all the way down to the entry-level team members. Certainly, we want to stay competitive and we want to stay relevant, but you got to really think about the risk-reward. I'm excited. We are in the fun business, and you're in the development business, right? We have a lot of smart programmers as well, but we want to utilize the toolkits that are available to us, and I'm really excited about what we've seen participating in the Innovator program on the HCM side. And I think with recruiting specifically, there's going to be some really great engagement tools that we've been able to play with a little bit. And then on the financial side, what's the story so we can be more efficient? You don't spend as much time doing the what, but the why. And then I think that'll make us all smarter, more, quicker to get to the finish line.
Right. So, and then last question, second to last question. I'll surprise you with the last one. The second last question is, we've had a long time relationship, partnership. You guys have been extremely successful. A lot of dynamic things happen in your industry. What do you expect from Oracle going forward? How can we help you going forward?
Yeah, Oracle's been a great partner. I'm not just saying that because I'm here on stage, but they've been really, we were an early adopter on the ERP side, and I think the relationship has been really effective in listening to us and what our business needs are, and then evolving and maturing together. So I think continuing that strategy is going to be really key to both of our success, and we're excited about all this fun stuff you're showing today.
So now I'm going to go off script. So most of the audience are Fusion customers, so I know they have plenty of time on their hands because the close is so fast and supply chain is so automated. So they're probably going to stay here for the weekend. So since they're going to stay here for the weekend, go to Caesars. What's the best show at Caesars they need to see?
Well, Absinthe is a fan favorite. It may not be, but it's always a really popular one. But we really have something for everyone. If you look at, Planet Hollywood all the way down to Harrah's, we've got, if you want to see a lounge or you want to see a big show, we've really got so many great. And then we just opened Disco Show at Spiegelworld, so a little plug for that. I haven't been yet, but I'm super excited. It's got the interactive 80s, 70s music, and it's supposed to be really fun.
Okay, I'm in. I'll see you all there at Disco Show on Friday. All right. Thanks, Stephanie. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, so now I'm going to shift over to the next section and talk about innovation that matters. And of course, here I'm going to contextualize a little bit more about where we're putting AI in the applications and show you one fairly simple example, but has a very, very, very broad implication. Now, before I start, here's a slide that I kind of take for granted. Hopefully you guys take for granted too. And it's sort of our rules of engagement around AI. And there's a few fundamental things that I think you should all understand. First off, in our applications, everything I'm talking about in AI, we maintain the exact same agreement with you regarding your data. The security of your data and the privacy in your data. So every agreement you've had before AI is maintained after AI with the applications, part one. Part two I really talked about before is we bring to you the best-in-class AI engine or large language model engine for the particular use case. So we have many partners in AI that will continue going forward and we're best in class. And very importantly, part three is, and Larry articulated this quite well on the earnings call on Monday, but to reiterate again, we use AI as a tool, as a technology to deliver to you better solutions. I showed you in the first demo how AI improved Salesforce automation through productivity gains. I'm going to show you in the next demo how it improves finance and back office through productivity gains. Those are applications we deliver to you. Those are services we offer to you, our customers. We do not charge you extra for AI. And in fact, I'm not even sure how we would charge you extra for AI. These are the tool that we use to embed to make our applications better. Just like we use the best-in-class database, just like we use the best-in-class OCI. I can go on and on technologies we use. AI is yet another technology. It's a major and significant technology, but we bring it to you to make your jobs better and easier, included in the existing applications you use today. Now, with those driving tenets, last year I stood on this stage and I announced that we would have 50 brand new generative AI use cases across the suite. I was wrong. We actually delivered over 100 generative AI use cases across the suite. So these are use cases that are already available to all of you, our customers, that have been delivered as part of the quarterly updates. And if you read your quarterly update notes, you'll see quarter after quarter, and this will continue. And a really big shout out to all of you in the audience, because some of these came from our ideas, but you really delivered on what I expected. As soon as our customer base saw what was happening in AI and generative AI, you came to our Customer Connect, you gave us ideas, and we've been able to act on those ideas to get better and better use cases based on your input. And the results are showing. We're quite proud of Oracle at Oracle, and we've used AI throughout Oracle in our own implementation. And for context, I want to take a moment to give you guys context of how efficient it's made us. We announced our earnings on Monday, which was September 9th. Our quarter closed the last day of August. The first day of this month was a Sunday. The second day, for those of you not in the United States, was a US national holiday. So you can count those as working days or not working days if you'd like. We reported on day 9. First 2 days were essentially holidays, non-working days. We also had the weekend, last weekend, in between. So effectively, and this is not closing the books were closed very early. This was doing all the auditing, all the forecasting, all the guidance preparation, all the reporting to SEC. We did that on day 9. And that's a testament to our world-class finance organization, truly world-class, but it's also using everything I've just talked about. We want to be a showcase for all of you. Complete suite of applications, complete AI technology to automate that. And it's just a tremendous result. And some people ask, well, what's the big deal about a close in 9 days or reporting in 9 days or 11 days? And you're probably right, that's not such a big deal. The big deal is the reason we were able to do that is because we have visibility into our business throughout the quarter. It's not like we have no data and then we scramble and do a close. We have visibility throughout the quarter by using AI in our applications, and then when the quarter closes, we do administrative work, we do the legal work, we publish our earnings, we have our earnings call, and that's how we're so fast. But it's not just us, and it's not just in finance. We have a number of customers who are speaking here this week, or have already spoken this week on our behalf, talking about where they've used AI, again, across the suite, across the businesses going forward. So that's what we've done over the last year, and some of the customer results. But today, we're taking the next logical step. So most of those 100 use cases were adding AI to existing flows, generating text kind of productivity enhancements. Today, we want to take it much more broadly and have AI do a much more comprehensive, complete set of tasks, again, to make you much more efficient. And we're announcing AI-powered for autonomous work, AI agents powered for autonomous work. Some examples will be AI agents around talent review, assistance for customer sales, assistance for compensation, assistance for maintenance. But just like last year, we announced 50, this year, we're announcing we will have 50 AI agents, 50 plus, because again, I expect us to over-deliver, but these are the ones we have planned and planned for delivery to all of you as part of your normal quarterly update. There's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to buy. Quarter after quarter for the next 3 quarters, you'll see delivery of 50 AI agents into your applications to make tasks more efficient, and in some cases, make tasks doable within the application that were really manual or difficult to do before at all. So that next step of AI. But again, it's very difficult to talk about AI agents. Let me show you another example of an AI agent. And this example is relatively simple, but it's very illustrative, and hopefully I can do a good job of telling you how broad-based, because I think this is going to transform majorly the way people work with our applications. And we call it our I/O agent, or document I/O agent. So what's happening? I'm on a trip, I'm in Japan, I need to make a purchase, and I get a quote for some video. And the quote happens to be just on a piece of paper. It happens to be in Japanese, which I can't read at all. So hopefully it's the right thing. How do I get that into a purchase order and into invoice? Well, I don't have to type it into self-service procurement. I don't have to type it in anywhere. I take a photograph and I email it to our document AI assistant. The AI parses that document. It not only converts Japanese to English, it not only converts the amounts, but it is able to map the exact data from that quote into the purchase order document. The AI engines today are so good at the document character recognition across multiple language, it blows away anything we've ever been able to deliver before. And I'm showing you a purchase order off a photograph example, but I'll show you more. Now, what's the next step? So the purchase order's been loaded, it gets to a buyer. Now the buyer can check things like, what the AI engine has also done is default the account and the chart of accounts number. But if you want a human being to check it, you can override it, you can go forward, and you can complete the purchase order. Frankly, this step is something that also can be completely automated out. It's just a very boring demo if I say, take a picture, voila, you have a payment. So we'll show you this interim step, which is probably completely automatable in the vast majority of cases as well. But there's more. I showed you an image. We often get requests of Excel spreadsheet uploads. We have XML documentations, interface files. It doesn't matter where in the applications, purchase orders, invoices, journals, you name it. It doesn't matter what the document type is. You take the large language model and document input output. You take any format, photograph, Excel spreadsheet, XML file, you give it to the AI engine, it reads it, it parses it, it uploads it. It's a tremendous change in terms of input and output into our applications across the board. Now, when that comes in, You then have somebody who's going to process a payment. Again, this could be automated, but to show you how it would look in demo, what's happening behind the scenes, you now get the stream of what those documents are that are being imported. In this case, you want to issue the payment. Of course, you have the option of issuing a virtual card payment, which we announced last year through our partnership with MasterCard. You issue the virtual card payment, and voila, off you go. You've essentially created a PO and a payment from a photograph in a language you didn't understand, completely automatically using the AI agent. And again, that's one example. And again, to reiterate the point, everything you need, this will be pervasive across the system. Innovation that matters, best-in-class technology, the latest and greatest AI. This is already really good today. It's only going to get better. And customer focus. Notice again, I didn't go outside. I didn't take my data out to a data warehouse. I didn't leave my screens. I didn't even leave my phone. I took a picture. I went forward. It's where the users are. We brought the AI to the end user. OK. But enough about talk about features. Now let's hear about reality and how it comes forward. I'm pleased to welcome our second customer, DHL.
We all know DHL for its yellow trucks and speedy delivery. It's the world's leading logistics provider with close to 600,000 employees around the world. Every day, it helps businesses cross borders to reach new markets and sustain growth. Through its integrated solutions, DHL Supply Chain builds efficiency and resilience across supply networks, giving customers a competitive edge. Please welcome to the stage Dietrich Frunz.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
I thought I'd give you a little gift before we start. The aircraft we operate in our Express division. Hope you have fun. You can light it up if you want. Let me see if it works.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
So have fun with that, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Does it fly?
Thanks for a great buy. Well, put it in your office or somewhere else.
My team's down there. They can catch pretty well. Okay.
Well, I mean, if it's your team, it's okay.
Thank you. This is great. So welcome. So obviously, I think the logo is very familiar to people. People see it on delivery all the time. They may not be as familiar with the size and scope, particularly of DHL Supply Chain. Could you give them an idea of the magnitude of DHL?
Yeah. Of course I do. So the DHL Group is an 82 billion plus company in euro terms. It consists of 5 operating divisions. The Express division is the biggest one. We call ourselves the most international company in the world because we operate in every single country of the world. I'm part of what we call DHL Supply Chain. That is the biggest contract logistics business in the world. It's 17 billion revenue, 55 countries. We have 190,000 people. We operate in across 1,600 sites with 17 million of square meters warehousing space. The service provision is from transport to warehousing, value-added services. We do e-fulfillment, we do multi-channel business, and in most of the cases, we really work as an integrator, combining physical operations, the data, and the robotics. That's, in a nutshell, what we do, Steve.
That's a big nutshell. and your role at DHL?
I'm the CFO, responsible and part of the global management board and responsible for accounting, controlling, for risk management, for compliance, for pricing, as well as for investment controlling.
Now, obviously, with that type of footprint, you have many systems, many cloud systems, probably many on-premise systems. Could you give the audience an idea of where Fusion Applications plays in that ecosystem?
Yes, generally, as a board of management, we decided that we want to go with most applications as we can with cloud solutions. As Oracle is concerned, we're taking your, let's say, products for 4 functions, which is finance, obviously, it's HR, it's transport, as well as procurement.
Now, when we started, maybe you can tell the audience a little about how we met and where we got started. You've been a long-time Oracle customer, but on-premise. Now, before you moved to the cloud, and before, during, and now after, you've been part of a financial transformation to DHL. Could you give the audience an idea of sort of the drivers behind that, and how and why that combined with the move to the cloud?
So this role I took over about 10 years, and then I took a team together and wanted to really develop a transformation strategy forming a state-of-the-art finance organization across all elements, which is systems, processes, organization, and then insight and value creation. So we started about 10 years ago. As one of the key projects, we started to roll out then the on-premise R12 solution from Oracle. After 5 years into the race, I came to San Francisco, to the Open World. We met the first time and talked. By the way, Steve, you took a slightly smaller room. So this one is a little bigger than we did in San Francisco, obviously. So, but we did that. And then you and your team, we had discussions with my team, and you kind of convinced me or suggested that we should move directly on the cloud. We together did a feasibility study, and we decided to go, and since then we are implementing cloud. We are live in all APAC. We are live in half in Europe. In 5 months, we are live in full Europe, 35 countries. It was certainly a good decision, and I think it's a good time to thank your team and my team for the great collaboration, our partnership.
Oh, it's been tremendous work by your team to get here. I think, one of the things that's critical for the audience, because some of the audience are considering moving to the cloud or have moved to the cloud, and what you said is exactly, I remember. Maybe I convinced you, which implies not some skepticism, but maybe some concern on the fit, new to the cloud. So, but maybe describe the audience high-level perception of what do you think the product was like when we started 5 years ago, and what's the product like now?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, one of the key elements of a cloud solution is an even higher degree of standardization, but in a way also of simplification that requires very robust change management. But what was a great sales pitch, but what I bought into is the ability of the quarterly innovations, and that we buy an application which is constantly, developed, and that is what we want to benefit from. I mean, we saw those innovations coming in, but now looking forward, and we are talking about that one as well, is AI and very sophisticated, let's say, capabilities, which gives us better insights, real efficiencies and real value. We will measure and see in the P&L and cash flow statement, etc. And that is a little bit the difference. So the idea was there, and that now I think we get real traction. I think the capabilities you bring into the tool will really make a difference to our organization and to the product.
I mean, to be very clear, there's no way I mentioned 5 years ago AI, so that was new. But we did talk about visibility. We did talk about getting a shared service, just a lot of the accomplishments your team has made. So you're live in financials, in the scope that you mentioned, you're live in financials, procurement, HR, and transportation management, which in your business, transportation management, you guys know what you're doing, so that's a major, major accomplishment. So what have been the results you've seen so far?
I think, implementing the cloud, starting with finance, and we also adapted the model you kind of suggested to us, respectively discussed, is to centralize accounting activities in a hub, and that is not the transaction. We're still working with our partners of Accenture for the transactional accounting, but we centralized in APAC and Europe accounting activities. Together with that, we really address the system component, the organizational component, and process component, because I think we really work in the highest level of standard you can work, and we have almost none modifications to your solution, which is great. So I think it really coming into fruition what I envisaged maybe 10 years ago. All elements are working together. Again, there's more to come in terms of value creation, insight creation, but that's great. HR, we're utilizing lots of those self-service features, and that is what the people like and love. I mean, the HR people, but also other users, just as an element. In IT, I would call out, it makes our life easier, and I think my colleagues sitting there over there, also the IT colleagues, we have less, let's say, external applications, we have less integrations, it's seamlessly workable, and also the innovations which come, the quarterly innovations, are relatively easy to manage. So overall, it makes that life easier. And transport, I have to admit, strategic decision has been taken. It is deployed in one instance, but we still need to work on what is really the global design, because we have a huge customer base and they have individual, let's say, models and wishes. And to really define a standard, it's hard work for us, right? So we are more at the beginning, but certainly much more to come.
Yeah, well, certainly transportation is your business. So maybe that's a good segue. What's next for DHL supply chain, and how do you envision our partnership going forward, or how can we support you, and what's next for DHL?
So first of all, what's next? What we are going to continue the rollout. We'll finalize the rollout in 2.5 years about. And then I have one instance globally, which we certainly never had before, and that sets a mark in our overall company as well. What's next? Priority number one is utilizing this tool now and really betting on the new functionalities you will deliver. And I mean, you made me, which I'm honored with, part of your FSC, so the Finance Strategic Committee or Council. And I hope I can influence a little bit what you want to prioritize first, right? But I think we need now to double down. First priority to really take everything out of the tool, which is in the tool, utilize it. We can scale it easily because it's globally deployed. That is number one, right? And then we have also and then it's really about insight creation that are really drive value for the business and better. I mean, if you just imagine we have one data set, and with that consistent data, we're feeding into many cross-functional hubs and use cross-functional data to steer the business. The quality is better, and that is another agenda I'm driving as well.
Right. So you talked about the Financial Strategy Council, but here's your chance in front of a larger room and with a larger audience. How can we do better? How can we improve our partnership? What do you expect for Oracle to deliver?
Honestly, that we exchange, that you bring us together, and that I talk to other customers of you, that we have a community, I think will really be good. And I will consolidate some opinion and influence you, Steve, obviously. I mean, just to give you an example, I mean, if I would be in a position, never have it surprised by an auditor, because, I mean, anomaly detection, I mean, the application knows what might be wrong. I can even heal it before I have the discussion. That is something, it should be relatively easy to deployable in the foreseeable future, those kind of things I see. But I think that we work together continuous, I mean, on all levels, as we did in the past, will make that very successfully. I think there's not dramatic change I envisage, but we need to continue what we do.
Absolutely. I think it ties closely into our security message and everything we're doing, so it'll be great. Thank you, and again, congratulations to you and your team. Just great progress.
Hey, Steve, I have one for you. So 5 years ago, you told me you leave San Francisco and you should deploy the cloud, right?
Yes.
What is your advice? What do you wish me to do now? And if you talk in 3 or 5 years, so what is your advice to me?
I mean, I think I have we talked a little bit about this off stage. I talked with a few customers. I think that many of the people in the audience are in your position, where they've done, let's say, several phases. You still have some countries to roll out, you still have some transportation management. But I showed a couple examples. The team is delivering hundreds of new features every quarter. Not all of them will apply to you, but I think that we have to get, as a community, go from, hey, we got this big project to move to the cloud, we got this big project to update, into you're getting steady stream of innovation. I hate to sound cliche, but a continuous process improvement, not only in the supply chain areas where that's kind of what they do, back office financials, HR, so that you're adopting new features all the time. I think you and I do it as consumers. You get apps on your iPhone, your computer gets updates, you just absorb it. But I think as enterprises, absorbing and staying up to date, because I think, well, you and I know we've talked about opportunities to, as successful as you've been, if we just continue to incrementally automate, innovate those areas. So I would really put a focus on, I'm glad you mentioned the updates go in fairly seamlessly, but really drive that value. And I think your team is doing a great job. But if we do that, I think we're going to be really successful.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So,
great.
Thanks, Steve.
So Dietrich caught me off guard with a question, but I didn't want to mention this when he was on stage, but I have to tell this unique story. So normally with these events, we try to get a collection of our great customer stories, and we try to make them diverse to apply to as many parts of the audience as possible. A manufacturing company, a global company, services company, et cetera. And when we go through a list of people, DHL supply chain was rather unique. About 8 months ago, I think, I'll never forget this day, about 8 months ago, they had been live, they were very successful, the team was very proud, and I got an email, let's say, more or less insisting that they were going to be on stage with me at this event. So it was a great day, great source of pride. Any of you that are out there who are successful, drop me a note if you want to be up here next year. And I've only got 3 slots though, but we'll do the best we can. But it was a tremendous source of pride on their team and my team. And I was like, wow, we've really hit it if I've got people emailing me to showcase their success. So just incredible from DHL. Okay, now I'm going to continue on new innovations that we've delivered. And let me first start off by Level setting. So you've heard from DHL, you're going to hear in a moment from Zebra, manufacturing supply chain companies. And I know that many of you who come from particularly the e-business suite and JD Edwards heritage from some of our competitors, this has been one of the questions. Well, is the cloud ready? Can the cloud do supply chain manufacturing? Can it do shop floor assembly line capabilities? And I'm here to assure you that we have more capability today in the cloud in Fusion applications, supply chain and manufacturing, than we ever had before in any of the combined products. And that's shown by the success we're having at companies the size and scale and complexity, product companies, not service companies, of DHL, of Zebra, of Western Digital, of Kohu, of many, many, many more. And that's included with this complete set of supply chain applications. But at today's conference, we're extremely proud to announce more. And really, we've gone in a place we've never gone before, into something we call smart operations. And what this really is a modern day MES shop floor system. It includes things that focus on manufacturing, things that focus on maintenance, and things focus on inventory. Product supervisor workbenches, maintenance supervisor workbenches, invoice supervisor workbenches, and it is really built in conjunction with our customers and our customer feedback for what a modern, automated supply chain is today, where you're dealing with RFID, you're dealing with, you have an assembly line, and then work instructions come, they come with a QR code that the workers on the line either scan with an iPhone or scan with a tablet. You have instrument calibration that's monitored through IoT. The days of these old-fashioned, well, it's an assembly line and an MES system, or these, green screen, like hard press, those days are over. Today, many, many organizations are moving towards smart manufacturing and need a smart MES system, smart operations, that not only brings capability that we've never had before in our application suite, but unlike a traditional MES system, it is tightly integrated, one data model, one technology stack, one end-to-end business flow. Again, back to everything you need embedded, combined with that rich and robust manufacturing, supply chain, and financial application. Truly a unique offering, and something that if you're still an on-premise customer, particularly a manufacturing customer from e-business suite or JD Edwards, most of the time you've had to have a homegrown, third-party, or even custom application that took care of this smart operation piece for you. What we're really proud to offer is, as you're moving to the cloud, you have all the best-in-class capabilities you had before in manufacturing supply chain, and then some, and then a brand new offering in smart operations, which we really think will give you an opportunity to see a lot of value. Now, once again, without me continuing to talk about it, I'm pleased to welcome both a customer as well as a partner, Zebra.
Thanks to Zebra Technologies, companies can digitize and automate their workflows on factory floors, warehouses, hospitals, and beyond. Zebra solutions link the front line, wherever it may be, to the rest of the business. Everything stays connected, visible, and fully optimized. Zebra's award-winning portfolio spans software, robotics, machine vision, digital decisioning, and beyond. All backed by its 50-year-plus legacy in scanning, track and trace, and mobile computing solutions. Please welcome to the stage Matt Osman.
Hey, Matt, how you doing? Hey. So Matt, one of the things that Safra talked about yesterday was it's always great when a technology company buys our technology because they know what they're doing. So it's always great when a real manufacturing supply chain company buys our solutions because you guys know what you're doing. So can you give the audience a bit of background on Zebra and your role at Zebra?
Yeah, so Zebra creates solutions for the on-demand economy through our asset enterprise intelligence strategy. But what does that mean? We have solutions where it matters most on the front line. Our devices and software power frontline workers and assets so that we can track them and provide a connected experience that is tracked and fully optimized.
And your role within Zebra?
Yep. So as the Chief Information Officer, I am proud to lead a world-class IT organization whose mission is to keep Zebra safe, secure, and always running, at the same time looking at technologies, such as yours, that help us drive productivity and commercial growth. And they do that in our organization through living Zebra values. What I love the most is our team is so innovative. They're always pushing the limit. We collaborate very closely with our business partners to succeed as one. And then lastly, we look customer first, whether it's our business partners or our external customers.
Now, you talked about important to remind everybody the baseline things as a CIO, security and keep the thing going. But what are some of the, in the business context, what are some of the opportunities that are in front of Zebra today?
Yeah. Zebra's in such a great place. For 55 years, we've been creating technology, innovation, and leadership. We started with a core of scanning and printing, but we've expanded to RFID, laptops, tablets, and more recently, software, machine vision, and robotics. And what we do with those, what really excites me the most is that broad portfolio and what we can bring to a company, and Oracle helps us do that. I think of the transportation logistics space. We can go in a package that's moving around, whether it's RFID or scanning, having a label put on it, but tracking that package throughout the T&L or throughout the distribution center onto the truck. And then our products are there with the delivery driver taking a picture to make sure it made it to your doorstep. Or in the hospital, you can go and track assets through machine vision or RFID, real-time locationing of big and small assets that we can go and ensure a nurse can get what they need. But at the same time, that device will allow them to go seamlessly from room to room and quickly pull up patient information without logging into different workstations. So many broad use cases that really connect technology with that frontline worker and blur the lines between the person and the technology.
Well, yours is probably a great use case. We talk a lot about Oracle. At Oracle, use their own software. You know, you using your own RFID and tracking capabilities to track your own manufacturing is fascinating. Now, from Oracle Cloud, you go on in CPQ, configure, price, quote, the supply chain manufacturing, as well as the financials. Can you give the audience a little bit of like, what's been the experience been? What are some of the benefits?
So we wanted to dip our toe in the water of the cloud, and you've talked about the new capabilities that are coming, and those areas were really the ones for us that delivered the most value. And I think about the change that needs to happen in an organization operationally, process-wise. But what we've been able to do is really focus on top-level benefits around inventory and getting those turns up. But what we delivered to the teams that touch the technology every day is thousands of hours in time savings and how we do our demand planning. We're able to pass on cost savings to our customers around shipping by optimizing our shipping. We've been able to go and consolidate into a single system our new parts planning with our service parts, getting those into the depots, where do they need to go? And then trade compliance is an important part of ensuring we get things to our customers when they need it. And some of the features around that help us do that as well.
That's great. Yeah, all the automation there is fantastic. Now, being in the technology business and consuming the AI and in your IT role, can you take us a flavor of how you're approaching AI, either from your product perspective and or how do you see it, you know, working with our applications and or improving some of the optimizations you just talked about?
Yeah, this is where I love the synergy between Oracle and Zebra. We have that same mission to leverage embedded AI. So Oracle has that within their products, and Steve's talked about it. We have embedded AI within our Zebra products. So what do you get on the handheld? So what we're able to do is take that technology, pull asset information, pull locationing information. We've got AI that helps workers do that more easily at the front line, but then when you've got that information, we need a tool that helps us do something with it. So there are aspects where we've got AI on the device at the edge with the worker, and then you've got it in the core enterprise, and it's a really great synergy and partnership in how we work together.
Yeah, and this is really, it's a little bit hard to tell the story because it's about kind of a meta description, but what we announced this morning was a partnership between our smart operations that I just announced and Zebra and some of your capabilities. So when I talked about that RFID and I talked about the QR code and the devices, Zebra brings those devices, integrates with our software, And oh, by the way, that's exactly what Zebra is going to be using on your shop floor, the combination of your products and our products. So we're quite excited about it. Can you see, what do you think the feedback's going to be from our customers, and how will they be using it?
Yeah, I think from a customer viewpoint, everything that Oracle can do to help us pick better, pack better, ship better, everything we can do to optimize that, our customers are going to see the value of it. How do we get it to them sooner, faster, better? And together, we can do that. And I think our customers are going to see lead times improved. I think that we will be able to plan better and forecast when we need something, ship something, because it's the end device is what the customer sees, but the back office that we all manage, what parts need to be where. If they're not in the right place at the right time, it doesn't help us either.
Well, it's interesting. I think the very first customer Safra had talked about, I think it was MGM, talked about the increasing demand that customers have. And that, every customer I talk to in any industry, from hospitality on through high technology into our own business, the customer demand and helping to optimize to get that better customer service is key. So again, like I've asked everybody else, final question, either as partner or as partner in the respect of going to market together to all of you, or partner in terms of using our services and software. What do you expect from Oracle going forward? How can we improve and do better?
So for us together, we've been a customer for 15 years. You're one of our core anchor platforms. We don't take that lightly. I think of our anchors as partners for decades, not years. And so I expect that to continue. We are going to go be an early adopter of smart operations, and we will continue to push down that path to help you develop so we can get better ourselves and help customers, for both of us, get better. And I'm excited to see your roadmap where you continue to advance AI across your suite in many different areas.
That's great. Thanks again for the partnership with Smart Operations, and of course, thank you for your partnership and helping share it with the audience today. Appreciate it.
Great.
Thanks. Thank you. So as I mentioned at the open, unfortunately, I only get a chance to do a sampling of what we're doing. I gave you a few AI parts to talk about smart operations. We continue to add hundreds of new features every quarter across the industries. And I want to call out one industry because we talked about it here last year. We've executed and delivered on our promise to integrate our HCM products and our supply chain products tightly with healthcare or hospital systems. Certainly with Cerner, but also through APIs to any back office healthcare. And this, again, is an example of what we've done. You saw part of it with manufacturing industries through the integration with Zebra. We've delivered it with healthcare. Now, the final part I'll cover is sort of our commitment to your success. And I will tell you that I would strongly encourage you, there's many events here this week. Please get involved and talk to our product managers. Please get involved, participate in Customer Cloud Connect, because we're reorienting all of our measurements internal, from our customer success, implementation success, to our product managers, to delivering on feedback. And we're really focused on not delivering features, but delivering on value to you. So every conversation I have with a customer this week is all about how are you measuring it? What are the business metrics critical to you? What are we doing to improve that? Now, with that, I'm going to segue over to the third and final demo. And again, I think this is a great demo. I think it'll be easy for people to understand. But this is one example of what you're going to see throughout the application suite. And in this example, it's in HCM, and it's benefits enrollment time. And I have to register for my annual benefits, just like everybody in the United States does. Now here, I've got until September 19th. So if it were me, I wouldn't even start this for another 8 days, 8.5 days. So I've got until midnight of the 19th, but this is an ambitious person. But they have some questions. And they want to know, well, what's new this year? And how has the cost changed? And what's different going forward? Now, one key element here that you will notice as you go through is, as I mentioned at the beginning, a driving tenet is we never share any of your data with the large language model or with the LLM. So what has happened here, and how is this working with that? Well, the customer in this case has uploaded their benefits document. So every company has a benefits document that has gory details of exactly what you cover. You haven't uploaded that to a large language model. You've put that in an Oracle database, Oracle 23 AI, with AI embedded in it. So that means all of that security that you have is guaranteed. And so when I started asking questions about my benefits plan, I didn't need to tell it anything about my benefits plan that was loaded. And very importantly, I didn't need to tell it anything about myself. It knows my tenure. So some companies have different vacation policies based on tenure. It knows which healthcare plan I chose last year. It knows that I'm in the United States, so I have Kaiser as an option, or I have United Health as an option, or other options. If I was in Europe, it would know I have different options for Europe. So it's contextualized and it's embedded into the benefits product. Now, but there's more. So you asked the AI, it gave you the answer, but you're not sure, or there's this concern about AI accuracy. But you'll notice at the bottom, it gives the source. And so what it allows me to do, because I've uploaded the source, it not only gives you the answer, but you can drill directly into the component of the benefits policy that has the source. Again, completely secure, completely contextual, best-in-class AI engine using it appropriately. And you go forward and you could ask it more questions. And again, each with drill down to the source, embedded in, I haven't left the policy or benefits enrollment process. I go through, I could ask about my eye care, I could ask about coverage for dependents, I could ask about anything I want. Now again, this is an example in benefits. I talked about 50 AI use cases. I showed you one in sales automation at the beginning, which had generating text and generating proposals. There's a lot of cases you do that throughout the application. I showed you document input output. That was around a purchase order. But anything you need to get in and out of the system, journals, invoices, orders, you have the document I/O. And now you have an assistant-like capability for questions and answers with policy documents. So for example, this exact same use case where you ask questions, we're embedding it into expenses. You're traveling, many of you are traveling today, what's my expense report policy? Can I expense room service? Can I go out to dinner? What's my limit? Can I expense the show we're all going to see on Friday at Caesars? Those exact same interface, the same AI with all the services. Embedded, pervasive, contextual, and secure. That is what's coming to AI across the board. Now, unfortunately, I'm out of time, and I only had limited time, but you have a ton more detail in the HCM session led by Chris Leone at 11, and Yvette Cameron will be there. There is a fantastic AI session which Miranda Nash will cover, along with our partner, the CEO of Cohere, a large language model capability. Our brand new focus on AI and the user experience with Hello Cooperman and Jenny Lam at 2:15. Those are always tremendously attended and reviewed. And the future of CX, where Rob Tarkoff, I'll have a couple customers joining him and talk about more details of what I showed in sales and marketing. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. And finally, I know I'm over time, but just to close, I really want to thank you all for your attention and your input. I can assure you our team is extremely motivated by this week. We love getting your feedback. We're extremely proud of the accomplishments, not only from Zebra and DHL and Caesars, but all of you, and working our very hardest and very best to deliver this capability to make you more effective. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the show.